Hi friends, thank you for joining me today. We are going to do a nice stretch to open up and stretch out the hips. You may be able to use a couple blocks, so if you have your blocks, go ahead and grab it and meet me on your mat. As you come onto your mat, go ahead and sit in what's called a butterfly pose or Baddha Konasana. So just initially start out really nice and easy. It doesn't have to be a tight butterfly. You can have your heels a little bit further away from your groin, and then just kind of move around side to side on your sitting bones. And then as you do, find equilibrium on the sitting bones. So you're pressing down on both sits bones. You're not leaning over one way or leaning over the other. And then go ahead and grab your ankles, and you can sit tall. Allow the back of the neck be long, your chin to your chest. Close your eyes for a moment. And as you begin to inhale, just allow the sternum to lift up. And with each exhalation, feel your hips softening towards the earth. So inhaling, sitting tall. Feel the top of your head, the crown of your head reaching up to the ceiling. And with each exhalation, feel as if you're grounding down more. So you feel your hips melting more and more towards the floor. Inhaling, elongate the spine. Feel your spine getting long. And exhaling, soften the shoulders. Feel that there is enough space. You're creating space between the ears and the shoulders. Let the shoulders down your back. Inhaling, make your spine a little bit longer. And exhale, feel yourself getting more relaxed. And then gently open your eyes. And maybe you want to begin to walk your fingertips in front of you a little bit. So notice that you're not rounding your back. Make sure that the back, your spine is still long and the shoulders are soft. I'll show you the side view. Our tendency is to round the back to come forward. Can you keep the spine long? You don't even have to go that far. In fact, if this is a good place for a block, so you can put the block right in front of your toes and have your fingertips right on top of the block, and just elongate the spine. Make his spine really long. And then you can come forward as much as you want to. This allows your tailbone to go back behind you as you're lifting the chest up. And kind of begin to notice your breath right here. With your inhalation, feel your breath, sense it traveling all the way down to the hips. And exhale. See if you can release the knees down towards the floor just a little bit more. And inhaling, keep the spine long. And exhale, maybe come forward just a little bit more. And when I say spine, notice that the cervical spine, the back of your neck, is part of that entire spine. So make sure that you're not kinking your neck. Let the back of the neck be long. Inhaling, the chest lifts up. Exhaling, fold forward just a little bit more. And then with your next inhalation, coming all the way back up to the center. And lean back just a little bit and let your knees windshield wiper side to side. Just allowing the knees to go side to side. You can have your feet a little bit wider than the mat. Good. And next time your knees are to the left, pause there. Let your right knee come down towards the floor. Inhale. Then taking your knees back to the center, exhale, let your left knee come down towards the floor. Beautiful. And inhaling, coming all the way back to the center. Extend both legs to the front. Sit tall. And then take your left knee, bend your left knee so that your left shin is parallel to the front of your mat. And bend the right knee so that the right shin is parallel to the front of your mat. And you can bring your right foot on top of the left knee. If this is too much for your knees, you can definitely put that right shin in front of the left shin, so you're sitting cross-legged. If you can bring that right knee up without any pain in the knee whatsoever, you can take one of your blocks and put it right in between the knee and the heel. And that allows that knee to melt down. So see what you need. Take care of yourself. You can either put a block there or a blanket or a pillow, or if you don't need it, let that right knee just kind of melt down towards your left heel. And then once again, sit tall again, soften the shoulders, keep both feet flexed. If you're in fire log pose, Agni Stambhasana, both shins are parallel to the front of your mat. Sit tall, crown of the head reaches up to the sky. Inhale. And as you exhale, feel your hips softening just a little bit more. Again, if you're at a point where you feel like there's just too much pain, please come out of the pose and just put that shin right in front of the other. Make sure that you're not tolerating any pain. Then maybe at this point you want to walk your fingertips forward just a little bit. And as you walk your fingertips forward, you definitely feel more stretch in that right hip. See if you can ground down the right hip. So with your fingertips, press the earth away, lift the chest up, and ground the hips down. Inhale. And exhale. Constantly check on your shoulders, constantly check on the jaws. Make sure that everything in your upper torso is relaxed. Your upper body is completely relaxed. And even with your breath, feel and sense a feeling of opening in that right hip. So as if you're creating space. Inhale. And exhale. And then gently begin to walk your fingertips back. Extend both legs straight. Once again, you can lean back and just kind of wag your feet side to side. And we're just going to switch sides. So this time you're bringing the right shin so it's parallel to the floor, to the mat. And then take your shin, left shin, putting your left foot on top of the right knee. And again, make sure that there's no pain in that left knee whatsoever. If you feel any, even a twinge, put that shin right in front of the right shin. If you don't have any pain, you can just stay here. If that knee is way up, way off the ground, you can always put a block or a blanket or something underneath that knee to support it. And then sit tall, both feet are flexed, both shins are parallel to the front of your mat. Allow the shoulders to be soft, head is held high, chin is parallel to the floor. And soften the shoulders and soften the jaws. And there's always one hip that is a little bit tighter than the other. Notice if this is your easy side or maybe you have more tension on this hip. Just be at peace with that. And if you like to, you can begin to walk your fingertips forward. As you walk your fingertips forward, press your fingertips down onto the floor so you can really lift your sternum up and let the hips ground down. So your hips are going to want to come for the right. Can you make sure that the hips stay on the floor as you're lifting the chest up? And close your eyes once again. And as you close your eyes, really notice that you can send your breath, even though we don't have lungs in the hips, that you can send your breath to your hips. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And then with your next inhalation, begin to walk your fingertips back. This time, keep the knees bent, your feet are flat on the floor, and just do the same thing you did before, windshield wipering your knees side to side. And then as you're ready, just go ahead and cross your ankles. Your hands are going to be in front. Take your legs back behind you. Bend your knees, putting your feet flat on the floor. Tuck your toes under and begin to lift your hips all the way up to downward facing dog. As you get into your down dog, bend the knees as deep as you can so you can lift your sitting bones straight up to the sky. And then begin to bend the left knee, straighten the right knee, and bend the right knee, straighten the left. And just move through this just 2 more times. The left knee is bent, straighten the right knee. The right knee is bent, straighten the left. And next time the left knee is bent, keep the left knee bent. Turn the right heel in and really bring the bottom of that right foot down onto the floor and begin to lean into that right hip. And lean into that right hip as both hands are pressing firmly onto the floor. So check in and make sure that the elbows are not bent, the elbows are straight, and you're lifting your sitting bones up towards the sky, and your right heel is in towards the midline of the body. Inhale and exhale. Come back to the center. Lift both heels off the ground. Bend the right knee. Bring the left, turn your left heel to the midline of the body. Bring the bottom of the left foot onto the floor and then push the earth away. Press the earth away as you're leaning onto that left side. Keep the right knee bent. Keep the back of the neck long. Press down firmly through the base of all 10 fingers so that you can straighten the elbows. Inhale and exhale. And then gently coming back to the center, lift both heels off the ground, bend the knees, and lean back. So you're pressing the earth away. And then as you exhale, walk your feet towards your hands. As you walk your feet towards your hand, have your feet be hip width apart. Inhaling, coming halfway up. And if you have the block, I like you to use your block so you can put your hands on top of the block. Inhale, lift the chest up, and exhale, fold. If you don't have the block, you can bring your hands onto your shins or even to your hamstring. Inhale, come halfway up so your back is actually parallel to the floor, and then exhale, fold. And one more time, inhaling, come halfway up, pause here for a moment. Notice if the chin is lifting up, can you draw the chin to your chest so that the neck is long? Pause here. Press the tailbone away from your head and just pause here for a moment, really lifting the sitting bone straight up to the sky. You get a really nice stretch in the back of the hamstrings. Inhale. And then exhale, folding forward. Your blocks go to the side. And with your next inhalation, take your left leg back behind you. Bring your left knee down towards the floor. And then lift the chest up. Walk your right hand onto your, right next to your inside edge of your right foot. And I want you to press your right knee onto your right shoulder. So push the right knee to your right shoulder as the shoulder is pressing to your knee. And stay here for a moment, creating that kind of an isometric movement. Inhale and exhale. Good. And then taking your right hand on the outside of your right foot, lift the chest up once again. And as you exhale, take your heels back, take your hips back to your heels. So your hips are going back to your left heel. Flex that right foot, take one of your blocks again, and I want you to put the block right behind the bottom of your right foot and hold on with your block, hold on to your block with your right hand and press the heel, press the ball of your foot to the block. And as you do, lift the chest up, lift the sternum up. At this point, you feel a really juicy stretch all the way from the Achilles tendon through the back of the calf, through the hamstring, as you're lifting the chest up. Remember to keep the spine long. Inhale and exhale. Remove the block, bend the right knee, bring your hips forward, tuck your back toes under, Lift the left knee off the ground, spin the back foot flat, and then begin to walk your hands towards the left. And lean back into the hips. Let the head go. So your upper body is like in a downward facing dog, as your lower body is in a warrior two pose. And elongate the spine. Let the head go. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale, walking your hands all the way back to the center. Spin to the ball of the back foot and shift your weight forward, bringing the left foot to meet the right. Once again, inhaling halfway up, use your blocks. Exhaling, fold forward. This time, putting the blocks away. Again, taking your right leg back behind you. Bring your right knee down towards the floor. Inhale, lift the chest up. And then bringing your left hand on the inside of that left foot. Press your left knee onto your left shoulder as your shoulder is pressing onto that knee. And press it, push it. This creates a nice isometric movement where your muscles are contracting without you actually moving them. Inhale and exhale. One more time with your own breath. Press your knee to your shoulder as the shoulder is pressing the knee away. Exhale, and then taking your left hand behind on the other side of your left foot. Inhale, lift the chest up, and exhale, take your hips back to your right heel. And then as you pause here, bring one of your blocks. If you don't have a block, you can always use your hand, but put the block right at the bottom of the sole of your left foot. And then you can hold on to the block as you're pressing the ball of your left foot onto your block. Keep flexing that left foot. Lift the chest up. Press the ball of that foot onto your block. Soften the shoulders away. Inhale. Keep elongating the spine. And exhale. Inhale, moving the left hip backwards as the right hip is moving forward. Exhale. And then release your block. Inhale, coming back forward. Lift the right knee off the ground. Tuck the right toes under. Spin the back foot flat so your feet are in a warrior two pose. And then begin to walk your fingertips to the right side. And as you do, lean into your hips so your hands are pressing the earth away like they're in downward facing dog, and your legs are in warrior two. And then soften the shoulders again. Let the back of the neck be long. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And your next inhalation is going to walk your hands all the way back in. Spin the back heel up. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, step your right foot to meet the left. Inhaling halfway up, you can either use the block or just bring your hands behind you and slide your hands all the way up your hamstring. And exhaling, fold. And do this 2 more times. Inhaling halfway up. And exhaling, fold. And then next time you fold, you're just going to pause here, inhaling halfway up, exhaling, fold. And this time as you pause here, take your peace fingers and hook your big toes. Inhale, come halfway up, and exhale, fold forward. Let your elbows go out to the side. Keep the knees bent and allow the ribs to rest on top of your thighs. And then as you do, let the head completely relax. So shake your head side to side to make sure that the back of the neck is relaxed. You can allow the elbows to go out to the side. Soften the shoulders away from the ears so there's plenty of space in between the shoulders and the ears. Pause here for one more breath. Inhale and exhale. Release your hands and begin to bring your hips down to Malasana or garland pose. As you come down, you can take one of your blocks and you can always sit on your block. This is a very good way to start practicing Malasana. If you don't need the block, you can take the block away. And sometimes it helps if your heels are really high, you can just kind of roll up your mat and just step your heels on top of the rolled up mat, or you can put a blanket under the heels. But another way that makes this a little bit more accessible is to let your toes go out to the side, your heels are in, and make sure that the toes are aligned with your knees. Bring your triceps right in between the knees, and as you inhale, lift the chest up. With each inhalation, you're lifting the chest up, you're allowing the heart to shine through the collarbones. Once again, the back of the neck is long. You can bring your hands to the prayer heart center and just press your elbows in as the elbows are pressing your knees out. So let's create that traction once again, pressing your elbows with your knees as the knees press your elbows out. And as you stay here, you may begin to feel a really nice opening to the hips, to the inner thighs, even to the psoas muscles, to the lower back. This is such a lovely pose to practice every day. It's great for digestion. It's great for moving energy down, maybe even releasing some unnecessary tension. Inhale, exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Now slowly begin to release. Bring in your hands onto the floor. Lift your hips up. And then as you lift your hips up, lift your right leg up towards the sky. Inhale, reaching the toes straight up to the sky. Exhale, draw the right knee towards your chest and round the back. Inhaling, take that right leg up. Toes are going to the back wall. Exhaling, draw the knee to your chest, round the back. And one more time, inhaling, standing split. Exhaling, bring the knee in. This time, as you inhale, take that leg back. Take your eyes to the back of your mat, and then gently begin to bring your toes, your right toes down onto the floor. So you come into low lunge. Inhale, lift the chest up once again. Exhale, this time begin to straighten the left knee, bringing your forehead down towards your shin. Inhaling, coming back into lunge. Exhaling, lifting the hips up. Your forehead comes back to the shin. And one more time, inhaling, lifting the chest up. And exhaling, forehead comes to the shin. Pause here for a moment. Now, take your right foot and step it up a foot and step it out just a little bit. So up a foot and just out to the right. Your hands can rest on the blocks. Inhale, lift the chest up, and then keeping the back nice and long, exhale, fold forward. With your left hand, take your left thumb to your left hip and sculpt that hip back. And as you do, press down firmly to the bottom, the base of your left big toe. And as you do that, you feel a nice stretch all the way through the back of the left leg. Inhale, come halfway up once again. Exhaling, fold. Keep that right foot planted on the floor. Make sure that you step the right foot up just enough so that the entire foot is planted onto the floor. Both legs are nice and energized. That right leg tends to fall asleep. Make sure that the right kneecap is pulled up, energizing the right quadricep. Pause here for one more moment. Inhale, soften the shoulders. And exhale, lifting halfway up and step your right foot to meet the left. Inhaling, once again, come halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhaling, fold and take your left leg back behind you. And then as you do, shift your weight forward so you can bring the left toes up towards the sky. You can use the block or not, it's up to you. Inhale, lift the toes up, the left toes up. Exhale, draw the left knee towards your chest and round the back. Inhaling, the toes go up. Exhale, knee to your chest, round the back. Inhaling one more time into standing split. Exhale, draw the knee to your chest, round the back. Pause here for a moment. And then take your gaze to the back of your mat. Take your left leg to the back of your mat. And gently land your left toes onto the mat. Inhaling, lift the chest up into a lunge. And exhaling, taking the hips up to the sky. Coming into pyramid pose. Inhaling forward to a low lunge. Exhaling, lifting the hips up into pyramid pose. And then once again coming forward, inhale, low lunge. Exhaling, pyramid pose. Pause here. Again, use your blocks. Step your left foot up and out a little bit. So up a foot and a little bit out to the left. Inhale, lift the chest up. Your hands can rest on the block. And exhale, fold forward. As you fold forward, you can take your right thumb to your right hip and sculpt that hip back. As you're doing that, at the same time, press through the bottom, the base of the big toe, the right big toe, I'm sorry. And then as you ground down, moving the right hip back, inhale halfway up, exhale, fold, and one more time. Inhaling halfway up, exhaling, fold. The right hip moves back as the left hip moves forward. Energize that left thigh. Make sure that the entire left foot is grounded onto the floor, bringing your forehead down towards the right shin. Pause here, feeling a deep stretch on that right hamstring. Inhale and exhale. And one more time. I always like to stay just a little bit longer. That's when the real stretch happens. Inhaling, coming halfway up. Then exhaling, bringing the left foot to meet the right. Inhale one more time, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Sit back into your chair. Inhale, begin to lift your chest up. And exhale, reach back behind you, lifting the toes off the ground. Inhaling, coming forward, lift the heels off the ground. Exhale, heels come down, lift the toes off the ground, reach back behind you. One more time, inhaling, coming forward, lift the heels up, reaching your fingertips straight forward. Exhaling, plant your heels, lift the toes up, and reaching your fingertips back behind you. And then next time as you come forward, stay here, lift the heels up, reach your fingertips in front of you, pull the belly, engage the core, engage all the hip muscles, press the knees together, and then exhaling, fold forward. Uttanasana. Inhaling, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhaling, fold forward. And plant your hands down, step your right foot back, your left foot back, come to top of the push-up. And then as you come to top of the push-up, Bring your right knee down, lift that up. Bring your left knee down, lift that up. And lift your hips into downward facing dog. Inhaling, float the right leg up behind you. Exhale, bring the right foot behind the left foot and lean onto that side. So your legs are crossed, your hands are in downward facing dog. Inhaling, float the right leg all the way up, three-legged dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, float the left foot up, and exhale, bring the left foot behind the right foot so your legs are crossed and you're pressing down in downward facing dog with crossed legs. Inhale and exhale. Inhaling, floating the left leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, down dog. So we're going to move with this. Inhaling, right leg goes up. Exhale, right ankle behind the left. Inhaling, right leg goes up. Exhaling, down dog. Inhaling, left leg goes up. Exhaling, left foot behind the right. And inhaling, left foot goes up. Exhaling, down dog. And one more time, inhaling right. Exhaling behind. Stay here. Press into that left heel. Inhaling up. Exhaling, down dog. Inhaling left. Exhale, left behind the right. Push into that right heel. Inhaling, left up, three-legged dog. Exhaling, down dog. And then come all the way down on your knees. Sit on your knees, sit tall. Let the crown of your head reach up towards the sky. Soften the shoulders. Then sit over to one side. And bring the left shin so it's parallel to the front of your mat. And then take your right leg back behind you. So the knees, this is called 90-90. So the knees are both in 90-degree angle. You see how that happens? So the right thigh is parallel with the left calf. And the left shin is parallel to the front of your mat. And then sit tall. Okay. And let that right hip just melt down towards the floor. So if this is too much and you want to lean to the side, that's fine. But see if you can really sit tall, pull the belly in. Okay. And then stay here and just practice that. Or if you like to, you can lean to the left just a little bit and then lift that right knee off the ground. That's it. Inhale. Good. And then exhale, begin to straighten the leg. Inhale, bend the knee. Exhale, straighten the leg. So the more you come to the center, the more more challenging this becomes. But see that the right knee is straight in line with that right hip. So try not to bring the knee forward. Keep that right knee behind you. In fact, you can even guide that right knee back with the top arm. And then a couple more. And exhale. Good. Now pause here, taking that right leg all the way across your body so that your right knee can stack on top of the left knee into Gomukhasana legs. Interlace your fingers around the right knee, lift the chest up, and exhale. You can either come forward or just stay seated. If you like to come forward, you can walk your fingers forward and let the chest, think about bringing your belly button onto your thigh and bringing your chest forward as opposed to the shin or forehead or the chin. And exhale, soften everything, let it go. Inhale and exhale, soften. One more time, inhaling, lift the chest up, exhale, soft. And then this time as you lift up, inhale, uncross your legs. Your right shin is coming to the front of your mat, parallel to the front of your mat. Your left leg goes back behind you. You're creating 90 degrees with both knees, 90-90. So the left thigh is parallel with your right calf. Okay? Sit tall. You can stay here and practice. Just notice a nice compression in that hip. If you like to go a little bit farther, you can lean over to the right just a little bit and then lift that left leg off the ground. And notice that the knee stays in line with the heel. So the heel comes up too. So it's not just the knee that comes up. Bring that entire lower leg off the ground. Inhale and exhale, straighten the leg. Inhale, bend the knee. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straight. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straight. Keep breathing. Exhale, straight. Very nice. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straight. One more time. Inhale and exhale. And then take that entire leg, the left leg, all the way across so that you can stack your left knee on top of the right. Interlace your fingers. Again, if you feel like this knee is way up, you can always put a block or a blanket underneath that knee. Inhaling, lift the chest up, interlace your fingers around the left knee. And then either stay here or you can move forward. Really depends on your hips. And remember that we all have different skeletal muscles. So just because you've seen photos of this somewhere doesn't necessarily mean that your body can get into that same shape. It's really being kind to your own musculoskeletal. Inhale. If you like to move forward, you can. Really keep the hips grounded. And one more time. Inhale and exhale. Very nice. And lifting your chest up. Begin to extend both legs in front. Lie down on your back. Bend both knees, putting your feet flat on the floor. Draw your right knee towards your chest. Your left leg can rest onto the floor, but see that the left leg is still energized. Your knees and toes are lifting straight up to the sky. And then begin to grab your hamstring and lift your right heel up towards the sky. And then as you do, you may need to move your right leg back so it's vertical to the sky. See, wherever you are is fine. Right now there should be enough of a stretch, so we stretched it out a little bit more. So if you want to go a little bit farther, you can grab your ankle or your calf and draw that right leg a little bit closer to your chest. If you have a strap, you can put the strap on the ball of your foot and draw that leg a little bit closer. You can also use your peace fingers, hook your toe like we did earlier, and draw that leg a little bit closer. See which one works for you. Just stay there for a couple more moments. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. And then wherever you are, release your hands. Take your left hand to the outside of your right leg or your right shin or your right foot. So whichever works for you. And then take that right leg all the way across your body. Good. And I always like to rest my left elbow on the floor. Keep that left leg energized. Inhale Exhale. Remember that your breath can actually open space. So the more you hold your breath, the more resistance and the more difficult the pose becomes. Really let your breath work with you. And then your next inhalation, your right leg is lifted up. Draw that knee to your chest once again. Putting your right foot flat on the floor, draw the left knee towards your chest. Interlace your fingers behind the hamstring. You can extend that right leg flat if you like to, and then gently begin to straighten the left knee. Again, all the options. So either interlace your fingers behind the hamstring and allow the leg to go straight up and down towards the sky, or you can grab your ankle, your calf, or if it's accessible, you can take your peace fingers to your big toe, hook your big toe, and draw that left leg a little bit closer. And at this point, close your eyes, because it does not matter how close that leg is to your chest. You might look at yourself and say, oh my God, that leg is way up there. It doesn't really matter. Just close your eyes and just feel a nice stretch in that left hamstring. Inhaling and exhaling, keep the right leg energized. Toes, right toes and knee is going up to the sky. And then release that leg, release your arms. Take your right arm to either outside of the right leg, right thigh, or right shin, or right foot. Inhale, and with your exhalation, you begin to cross that left leg all the way over to the right. And if you can bring your right elbow down towards the floor and feel a nice stretch. I always like to use my elbow like a kickstand, but keep that left leg energized. Flex the left foot. Inhale and exhale. Soften the jaw, soften the shoulders. Inhale and exhale, taking that leg back up to the sky. Draw both knees towards your chest. Rock a little bit side to side. Bring your feet down towards the floor. Let your knees go out to the side, so you're in Supta Baddha Konasana, the supine butterfly pose. And then just rest here for a moment before we go into our final pose, Shavasana. If this feels good and you want to stay here, you can. Otherwise, you can straighten your legs. Let the palms be open. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Draw the shoulder blades down your back. Let the back of the neck be long. Your scalp resting on the floor. Let your forehead be smooth. Your eyes heavy, sinking into the sockets. Your tongue is heavy. Let your chest be soft, relaxed. Your belly is soft. And then take your awareness to your hips. You may feel a little bit of a tingling, a little bit of a flow of energy to the hips. Let the back of your knees be soft, your ankles soft. And just rest here for a few moments. Make sure that you give yourself the time to rest. You can stay here as long as you like to. Whenever you're ready to move, just slowly begin to deepen your breath. You can feel the pulsation in the palms of your hands. Feel the sensation in the bottom of your feet. Maybe wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingertips. Inhale through both nostrils, exhale out through the left nostril. Inhale through both nostrils, exhale out through the right. And then as you're ready, draw one knee to your chest and the other knee to your chest. And notice which nostril is a little bit easier to breathe out of. Roll over to that side. Pause for one moment. Then with the strength in your top arm, press yourself to a comfortable seat. Sit up tall. Sit cross-legged, close your eyes. Let the back of the neck be long once again. Thank you so much for joining me again today. I really, really do appreciate you taking the time to practice with me. Namaste.